Hello. Welcome to Intuitively Simone. It is me, your host, Leah Simone. I'm so corny. I really re-recorded that intro because I wanted to say that. Anyways, today we are doing a reading, and we are looking at your energy and the energy that you attract. I do want to go ahead and say, though, I have 3 piles to choose from: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and I will definitely put a picture up for you to take a look at and choose. However, before we get to that point, I've already recorded the piles, and originally I had 4 piles, but that 4th pile that came through was very toxic, just malicious, nasty energy, and I had already put that out in one of the previous readings, that when I come across that energy, I will not be reading for that pile. So don't be alarmed when you pick one of these other piles, if you see the 4th pile on the screen. It's just disregard it. But okay, so let's get into the reading. I'll go ahead and put your picture up, and you can choose whatever pile or piles you are drawn to. The timestamps will be listed below. And I'll see you at your pile. Getting right into this, I don't know if this is relevant to your situation, but before I started shuffling for your pile, I right before, it took a little bit longer to shuffle because right before I realized that I forgot somehow to go through my own ritual of just reconnecting, inviting in, calling in, welcoming in the divine, the guides. They're always there, but for the purpose of this tarot reading, I realized that I forgot, and so I was kind of like distracted by that. So I took a moment, I paused, I did that, and then as I continued on and I got into actually shuffling and pulling, I realized that I was still a little bit distracted by that. And so I don't know if that's significant to you or not, but if it is, I'm sure it'll unfold as we go into the reading. But tapping into what your current energy is right now, what I'm showing is that your overall energy is coming through as you have truth teller energy. In fact, that's what I heard. Rihanna has a song. It's old. I think it's called Go Hard. And there's a part where she's like, something, truth teller, that Rihanna rain just won't let up. And that's what I'm hearing. Like, you are either a person that is in the process of like breaking generational curses, or you have stepped into your own your own identity, your own individuation, and you are expressing that. And the expression of that alone, it's a heavy mirror to people to show them their truths. And I'm getting that you also speak on it. You're not, like, you may have been a person that in the past used to kind of just like keep your mouth closed and for the sake of keeping peace or whatever. But now you're at the point where you're like, no, I need to stand in who I am and what I believe. I know this is reversed. I don't mean for that to be reversed. I read this deck upright because it's more of the visuals that stimulate my intuition. And so just a side note, if you're wondering why I just flipped that up. I'm not trying to change the message. I'm reading energy. So it doesn't matter. My point is, so in your truth telling, because you are able, it's like you have gotten to the point where you have broken out of, okay, I heard the matrix, like you've broken away from the matrix, meaning like it doesn't even have to be as grand of a scale as it's commonly talked about, but even it might be like the matrix or the dynamic of a family unit or a friendship unit, or just your environment in general, like your community. It's where you are recognizing and seeing the truths of people. And by the truths of people, what I'm really saying is you're recognizing how people they're presenting their self in this fake manner, with this facade. They're not being honest with their self. And in that, you can see the truth of who a person is. And so you're like speaking on that, because people may be confronting you about your own, like how you express yourself or whatever, as if you are the one at fault. And you may have experienced that a lot of people telling you like you need to dim your light, or you need to, don't say that thing, or don't respond, that's not appropriate, or whatever it is. It's like some sort of messaging that was reiterated, that you just being you as you are is it's like conflicting or confrontational or offensive, or what. I don't know that I'm using the right vocabulary. And if me saying this to you is triggering or offensive, please understand that's not my intention. I'm just trying to articulate, and I'm feeling this energy now suddenly of like anxiety. It's this like discomfort in someone, okay, so you might have been a person that like sold drugs in the past, or maybe you currently do. I don't know why I keep hitting drug dealer analogies. Are you guys drug dealers? I'm not trying to make a joke, and of course you're certainly not going to tell me like on a public platform like, yes, I'm a drug dealer. So, it's all good. But like, why am I getting this analogy anyways? But it's that feeling of having that, it's that high alert energy again that I'm sensing. And so it's like, I don't really know how, I haven't quite established, like, I don't know how that drug dealing analogy relates to what I'm explaining. So maybe that makes sense to you. Maybe you're not really a drug dealer, but maybe you understand what I'm saying. Maybe you have drug dealer friends, I don't know, or you have some sort of knowledge or involvement in that life, maybe in the past or the future in some kind of capacity, and it makes sense how it connects. But it's like your current energy right now, like so that's what I feel in my physical body, like when I'm receiving this energy. It's past now because I've explained it, but it doesn't matter. Oh my God. I feel like I'm all over the place with this pile, with this energy. And I feel like that's your mental energy, where it's kind of just like, it's not grounded. It's not grounded. And I was going to say unstable. So maybe you feel a little mentally unstable at the moment, a little like reactionary. I'm not sure. It feels like heavily like on guard, defensive. It's like the truth of, sorry you guys, when I take pauses like that, it's because I'm getting a vision, and I'm trying to figure out how to then articulate the vision, because it doesn't come through, my visions don't come through, it doesn't matter, it's a side note. What I'm trying to explain is that it's like I feel like a loss of self in recognizing who you are truly and connecting with who you are truly, and trying to ground that in the real world, because there's an element that like you have built up yourself. So people look at you, they assume that you are this person that you have presented yourself to be. And that's not a comment on that it's just, it is what it is. We all have our egos that we build up according to our experiences. And it's like you presented, I'm just going to use these pictures because it's here. It's like you presented as the swan this whole time, and people are expecting to come to you and like see a swan. But you realize, like, I'm not a fucking swan, I'm a panther. God damn it. That's what I heard. So now you're stepping into that panther. Like, you're embodying that in your energy and your expression. And people are kind of like taking it back. And that reaction that people are giving, that you get from people, because they're not used to coming to you and getting a panther, they're used to coming to you and getting a swan. That reaction, though, that people give is like, it has you feeling a little bit insecure and a little defensive, because it's like their reaction is like, whoa, what the fuck? Who, like, this is not you. Which they're not used to engaging you in that level. So that's a natural reaction, is like, you're not a panther, you're a swan. But because you chose to hide, that was really super emphatic, and I apologize. I wasn't trying to be accusatory. So I'm sorry, that did come off a little bit like accusatory, and that was not my intention. But it's because you decided to mask this panther element of yourself for whatever reason. I'm not here to judge it or anything. I'm just explaining the situation. Because you decided to mask this panther version of yourself, and then uncover that to people, it's like there's no grace, or you're not giving like a window of opportunity for others to adjust to this panther. And because you're seeing their reaction of like, what the fuck, you're not a panther, you're a swan, it's putting you on defense. And so now you're like ready to kind of like call out people for their truths that you see, because you can see deeper than you can see beyond the mask. And so it's like you're ready to call people out for their truth, but where it's coming from is like this defensive posture. And so it's coming out a little bit like maybe the truth is there, but the way that it's expressed, it's coming across really like you are projecting your own defensiveness in making a name for yourself. So how can I wrap that up in a pretty bow? Because the way that I just explained that was really fragmented. Let me try to do that again. All right. So you were once the swan. Let me back up. You once presented as the swan. You were always the panther, but you hid the panther. Now you want to outwardly express the panther. Cool. You thought that if you express the panther, because that's the truth of who you are, people are going to welcome that and embrace that. But the people that have been around you are used to interacting with the swan. And so now when they get the panther, they're like a little bit taken aback and kind of like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? And so that's putting you in a defensive posture, because you were expecting a warm embrace, but really they're like stumbling backwards. Like, what the fuck is this panther? I thought I was going to come and get this soft, delicate swan. And so now they have triggered this insecurity within you, because from the insecurity that you have carried from hiding this panther this whole time, the insecurity that naturally comes when you are in when you're in any type of new journey or phase or cycle, and it's new, you're not steady on that ground. And that's this like grounding this new identity. It's a new identity. So yes, you have to work to ground that in the real world. But something about the way that the two are mixing, it's creating like this reactionary type of response from you, this defensiveness. It's like you're taking everybody else's response to this new you. I'm going to say that in quotes. You're taking everybody else's response to this new you as an attack on you. But it's not. And that's because you don't feel confident expressing yourself as this panther. Why don't you feel confident? Well, because you spent all of your years of your life hiding this panther. So now you want to let the panther out, and like, yeah, you're like, it's like, you would hope that it would be embraced, because that's the truth of who you are. But it's new to everybody that this is the truth. Everybody doesn't have your ability to see beyond the physical, to see beyond the mask. So there are some people that when you meet them, the person that you show them, they're going to take it at face value, like surface level, nothing beyond that. You as a person who is able to see deeper than that, that can see everybody else's intention, it's like you're operating with the expectation that everybody else can do that as well. And so because of that, it's like you're expecting that people are going to see this panther. And although it looks very fierce and aggressive here, it's not, you're like, it's not that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that fierce and aggressive. So that's your current energy. It's kind of, it's defensive and a little bit like it's defensive. It is intuitive and it is a little bit, it's a little bit abrasive because it's coming from a place of uncertainty and insecurity. So that is your energy. That particular energy that you're in, and I want to just remind you, energy is always changing. So please don't think that you're going to be stuck in this energy. You're not. It's always changing. And the point of this reading is to bring awareness to where your current energy is, so that if it's not, so you have the tools to be able to adjust that as you need to if you don't like the type of people that you're attracting or whatever, for whatever way. And it's law of attraction. So, all right, the types of energy that you are attracting. You have Two of Cups, clear thoughts and visions. I got something and then it like kind of came and went and whatever. But I heard harmonizing. It's like, I'm getting that you are in the process of attracting your soul tribe. But okay, so it's like you're in the process of attracting your soul tribe, but it's not quite there yet because you have this defensive posture. And I'm just getting the sense that I think that you might be trying to like force this new you on the people that you were already around. So what do I mean by that? If your energy, I'm going to just use so if your energy was a swan in the past, that's how you like presented, right? That's what you were attracting, other swans. But then you tapped into and unleashed this panther energy. All right? Right? So now your energy has adjusted. It has shifted. It has increased or decreased, however you want to look at it. You would know that. Because in any element, there are light sides and dark sides. So like the swan, although it looks so calm and nice and fluffy and peaceful, there are light and dark sides to anything, right? So your energy either increase or decrease. And in that adjustment of energy, you're now at a new frequency where you can attract a different type of people. But you are trying to take this new frequency and force it on the people that you were around before. And I'm assuming that you have increased your vibration, because I just, like, without thinking, insinuated that the people that you were around before, that maybe their vibrational frequency was a little bit lower than where you are. And that's cool. We all have a journey of evolving our vibrational frequency. So that's not a judgment to where they are in their journey. Wherever they are in their journey is where they're supposed to be for their growth and their benefit. So that's why I never want to force anybody in any direction, at any speed or anything. Like, where you are in your journey is where you're supposed to be, and whatever type of message I can give you to help you work through that part for your benefit, whether that's to move out of that into another one or to get comfortable in that, whatever that is, like that's what I'm doing. You are taking a little bit of a different approach, where it's like you've gotten this enlightenment, this awareness, and now you're trying to almost like, okay, so now I'm seeing someone like force feeding another person. So it's like you're trying to force feed. I heard spoon fed. So you might be a person of privilege. Oh, okay. You might be a person of privilege. So you might be a person that's used to that. You're used to people kind of just like falling at your feet and following, like I heard following your command. I heard following your command. So you may be used to like you might be an authority figure, but you might be an authority figure, especially you have the Emperor coming out here, but you might be an authority figure in whatever capacity that means. And so you might be used to people kind of like following your direction. And now you're presenting this new like way of interacting with life, and it's like you're almost trying to force that on other people. But you had whatever process, whatever triggered that change within you, that adjustment, that shift, whatever triggered that was a process. It was like, now I'm seeing it when you hit pull. You have the stick, you pull it back, you tap the ball, and then the other ball rolls forward and hits another ball and then goes in the pocket. All of that is a process. That second ball, clearly I don't play pool very often, but that second ball, the stripe or the solid, whatever one that rolls into the pocket, it would not have done that without that first ball. What is that one? I don't know. Whatever that ball is. I was gonna say 8-ball, which made me think of drugs again. So like you might have, let me stop saying that, but you might have really been a drug dealer. Anyways, so that would not have unfolded if there wasn't first a challenge, a friction, you know what I mean? That moment where that stick hit the ball. If there wasn't that like thing to prepare, to add force to propel forward for you, whatever that was, you would not have gone through your process for that to unfold for you to get to where you are. And so with that understanding, consider that when engaging with other people and having the expectation that they too are just going to like understand because you said so. Oh my gosh, okay, so that's what's coming through. Is like, if you're a parent, you might be a parent that does say that, or you're used to having a parent that says, because I said so. So take that however that applies. But I'm just really getting that you're like an authority figure. So in a family dynamic, if you have children, you probably are like the head of the household, the leader, the person that makes the decisions, the emperor. You may identify as a male, or if you're not a male and you identify as a female, you may be heavily in your masculine energy, your emperor energy, making decisions, things like that. Okay, going back to the energy so let me just wrap that thought up that I was just saying. You also may be kind of like all over scattered, like getting your energy. Does it sound weird when I say tapping into your energy? Because I feel like I want to like move away from saying that. I feel like that sounds so weird. And so like, I'm like, it just sounds, I don't know, kind of creepy. Does it? It's not. I don't mean it like that. Like I'm not calling your energy in, so to speak. Like I'm going to spirit and I'm like, spirit, what is it that you want me to share? What messages do you have? How can I communicate? And they bring it to me. And so when they bring it to me, like when I say tap in, I mean like it's like I'm seeing like, okay, I guess this is how spirit wants me to explain it. But I'm seeing like a plug being plugged into the wall. So it's kind of like that, where like when I'm like plugged in. Okay, so maybe that's what I'll say. When I'm plugged into your energy, that even sounds weird because I'm not trying to drain it. Anyways, oh my God. So what I'm trying to explain is that connecting with your energy, it's so all over the place. It is ungrounded. Woo! Do you feel that? Like, do you feel that, Pile One? Do you feel kind of like scatterbrained? Let me just, girl or guy. I say girl because really, truly, I was talking to myself. Which I do. I need to clear that out for a minute. Not that it's bad. It's just I need to ground myself. It's so flighty. I'm not even sure. When I listen to this in the playback when I'm editing, like it's probably gonna be all over the place. All right. So the message is that you are in transition where you are attracting your soul tribe, but in doing so, there's an element of openness that's required, and also an element of release that's required. And what that means is that these people that you are trying to then bring this message to, you have to release that because they're not there yet, and trust that the universe will work to guide them, to evolve them the way that you have been evolved. And then once you guys are back in that same vibrational frequency, then you guys can realign if that's what it's meant to be. And if not, then they're not at that vibrational frequency, and that's okay, because everybody has their own journey. But if you want to attract in your people who can understand, when you provide this wisdom, like, they can have feedback to share, or they can be receptive, or they can understand, you know what I mean? It's more of a reciprocal type of interaction. It's more of a harmonizing connection. You have to be open to that. Instead of I'm just getting like, oh God, I heard pompous and the leader of the pack. So that's a song. That's what I'm hearing. And I was gonna sing it, but I'm like, does anybody? Anyway, it's by the Shangri-La Girls, and it's like, the leader of the pack, vroom, vroom. And it's talking about this guy. These girls are talking about this guy the one girl was dating, and he was the leader of the pack. So that's what I'm getting for your energy, is like, you're coming across very like pompous leader of the pack, where it's like, I went out and I got all this thing, so now I gotta go, and it's my responsibility to bring this to them and change these people. It's like, that's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to then integrate that wisdom within yourself and embody that, and then lead by example. And truly what that means is that be so stable in your energy and this new wisdom and in this integration process, that where before a situation may have caused a reaction out of you, an emotional reaction, now you have a higher wisdom, a higher perspective to see that you would do things differently. So if you were a person where in the past, like, someone did something to you, let's say they flicked a marble to your head, your response would be like, well, I'm gonna get this marble and I'm gonna flick it back at their head too. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that might have been your past energy, but now with this higher wisdom and this higher perspective, a part of integrating that would be to know that if somebody flicks a marble at my head, there's a better way to handle that. And a part of that better way is to see beyond the physical of what that person, was that an accident? Like, what is that? Was that person trying to get attention? Was it a toddler and they were trying to get my attention and they don't know better that that's not okay? Or was it an adult who's having a temper tantrum and now I need to I was about to say throw boundaries. So, but also, as I was saying that, like, what was coming out of my mouth was, I'm about to throw boundaries. But what I heard was throw blows. What I was trying to say was, I need to put boundaries in place. So maybe there's an element of physicality, like physical altercations that you might be used to. And it's bringing me back to the drug dealer analogy. So maybe that's what you're used to, that type of like reactionary, hostile, aggressive, reactive type of energy. But now that you have this new wisdom, and you know that now that you have this new wisdom, it's about integrating that into yourself and then putting that in action, where before you would have reacted, so I'm getting the quote now. It's something, what is the quote? Okay, it's something along the lines of like, I don't match energy, I maintain mine so I can attract what's for me. That's where you are. That's where you are, and like, that's what you're working on integrating. So embodying that, even through your actions, that is what's going to call those other people up, because they're not able to interact with you in the same way that they're used to. And if they want to continue to interact with you, then they're going to have to adjust their actions, raise their frequency, their vibration, their awareness, their consciousness, to be able to interact with you in a way that's more harmonious, in a way that's not so, I heard superficial, in a way that's not so superficial. So, all right, what trait can you, no, I'm sorry. So I also asked, what within you attracts this energy? And what I was getting is it's like, okay, there's an element where it's like you're still trying to individuate. What do I mean by that? You know how I said, like, it's a process, right? So it's like you were here, you gain this higher wisdom, whatever, and then you have to integrate that, or like embrace, not have to, but this is the process. So you're in one phase, you receive higher wisdom, and then you integrate that and embrace that, and it shows through your actions. It's a change, it's an adjustment within yourself that's then like rippled outward, right? Okay, so I heard analysis paralysis. It's like there are so many lessons. There's so much wisdom that it's almost like, where do I even start? Like, how do I even begin to be my own person? There's so much, I don't know, like information, like so many avenues or pathways to go to. This is totally, it's kind of like, it's kind of great. It's kind of cute. So it's like you've been in this shell this whole time, and you thought, like, this is the energy. This is a metaphor. Okay. So it's like you've been in this shell this whole time. Let's say you were a bird and you were in this shell this whole time. And like, you thought that that's all there was this whole shell. You know what I mean? And you're like, suddenly this shell starts to get tight. So you start pecking your way out of it. Then you crack that shell, and then now there's a whole world. And like, you have to learn how to walk, and you have to dry out you have to grow your feathers and like dry out the wetness on your arms, and you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the phase that you're in, where you just cracked out of your shell, and it's like you're looking at the world new. I'm also getting that you may need, well, your guides are suggesting help, like seeking some sort of help, like a guru or a spiritual leader of some sort, or some reliable resource. Even if you know someone personally that has experience that can help offer some type of guidance or direction, that you trust, that you know what I mean, like will guide you and encourage you in a way that's for the highest good for all. Not someone that just wants to push their own agenda, or selfishly like promote their self or whatever it is. I don't know how to I don't know, but use your own discernment in that. But your guides are suggesting like this is a terrain. I heard rocky terrain. So this is a terrain. You might be like near the mountains, or like in a rocky area or hilly area. Anyways, this is a terrain that's like you don't necessarily want to just go it on your own. I mean, you can. It's not suggested though, because there are so many pathways, and you could go down the wrong pathway and get sucked in. And there are dark energies out there, So when connecting with spirituality and higher wisdom, and specifically like, I'm just getting spiritual realms, like psychic meditation, that type of stuff, tarot reading, calling in energies, calling in angels, like calling in spirit guides. You don't want to just say, oh, let me call in my spirit guide. Any spirit can step in and say they're your guide. You know what I mean? So you want to be very careful about just jumping in and not having done your own research, or not having any type of guidance, or asking the questions. Like, you definitely want some sort of guidance, because you want to make sure that when you start to harmonize, that you're harmonizing for the highest good, that you're harmonizing for, it's not going to pull you down to this path of darkness. Okay, so when I was describing about like this transition where you're coming through as like the leader of the pack that wants to take all of this information back. So what I was, the other question that I asked is like, what are these energies, the other energy, what is it reflecting to you? And what you got here is the Emperor. And so these other energies that you are, but so the question was, what are the other energies that you're attracting? I'm just getting that you're not, okay, let me just clarify before I overspeak. Okay, so this is the energy that you will that harmonize with, that you are, now that your vibration is increased, when you integrate that and you start to move with actions in that direction, the energies that you will begin to harmonize with, that's more along the path of you, what they're going to reflect back to you is your own power, your own. And let me be clear, this is a healthy level power. This isn't, like over dominant, like, and this isn't coming from an insecure place. This is like, I have stepped into the power. This is, I have mastered my emotions. I have mastered all of the elements. You know what I mean? It's like I am balanced in myself, in my masculine and my feminine energy, in my darks, in my shadow sides and my light sides, in my ability to be receptive and in my ability to be a provider. That I am in power in how I make decisions, when I choose to make decisions. I'm in power in saying I'm not going to make a decision at this moment until I think through this, or whatever that situation is. But it's like true, genuine Emperor, like bosshood power. It's wise, it's wisdom. You know what I mean? It's not impulsive. Like it's stable. This is stable energy. That's what you're going to start to see yourself in that light with these other people that you start to harmonize with. Once you can kind of get your footing. Once you can get your footing and really start to express yourself truly and individuate in that way, and not be so focused on okay, so what Spirit is giving me is like, you may think that, so you seem like the type of person, okay, Spirit is describing you as the type of person that, what is it, Spirit? Sorry. It's like that each one teach one, and then there's another one. It's reach back, pull forward. That's the energy that Spirit is like, that you're like, I need to be the one to get ahead so I can reach back and pull forward. And by all means, but there's an art. So so Spirit is saying that you are taking that almost literal. Not that you're physically like pulling people, maybe you are, I don't know. But like you're taking it like almost in a sense that it's like it legitimately falls on you to like, okay, I learned this lesson, now I got to run back. And okay, so now I'm seeing the spoon feeding analogy again, where it's like you're running up here and then you're getting the spoon and then you're running back and then you're putting the food in the other person's mouth and you're going, and it's like, you don't have to do all of that. All you have to do is you've learned how to prepare the meal, set the table, set whatever. Spirit, the divine, the universe, the divinely appointed angels of each one of us, that's their position. That's their job to then usher those other people up to the table. And we have free will. So, the universe will work. Divine timing, divine intervention, all of that is a real thing. But it's not you are not the divine. That's what I heard specifically. You are not the divine. So it is not your responsibility to tell somebody or force somebody or try to usher somebody in a direction. That's God's work. You just take what you have gotten from the divine, the wisdom, whatever, and then you create with that. and that will then attract as it will. So, okay, what they want me to share now is this YouTube channel. I created this channel, obviously, and I set my intentions based on what I have received from the divine, through my spirit guides, through my intuition, through my psychic gifts. And I set the intentions and I communicate. I built a relationship. I'm focusing on what I am receiving and how I'm being filled by spirit to navigate. And I'm creating these videos and I'm putting them out. And slowly, very slowly, but I'm so super grateful, the channel is growing. Why? Because I set the intention with the divine. Okay, you bring them to me. Whoever it is, whatever message that you're giving me to put out here, you know who needs to hear it. So you bring them to me. In whatever way, you tell me how, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm doing. I have a couple friends, obviously, like when you do a new endeavors, you want to share that sometimes and like, oh, I'm on, so I have a couple friends and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing this, but but not on a grand scale, a couple people. There are some friends that I have not told. There are family members I have not told, not because I'm not ashamed or whatever, but because it's that seeing beyond the physical. It's because I know who would be receptive and who wouldn't. And that's not for me to judge, but it's also not for me to change anyone's mind. As spirit moves me to say or do whatever in whatever environment or capacity or realm, I will do so. Otherwise, that's for spirit to handle. And I respect that 100% because who knows better than the divine? Certainly not me. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. So, what can you lean more into? What can you embrace and integrate a little bit more to make this harmonizing a little more effortless? And then what can you let go of to, again, make this like harmonizing, to propel you forward in whatever way is for your highest good? So the swan energy, I'm getting like commitment, and that I'm getting commitment to self. What do I mean by that? If you decided that, so let's say you got this wisdom by meditating, and then I was getting this like scatterbrained kind of energy. So life has come in and kind of like knocked you off or whatever, thrown you around a little bit. And so now you kind of like veered away from meditating. Commit to meditating or yoga or eating healthy. If you know that these type of foods ground you, eat those type of foods. And if you're not sure, there are foods that will help ground you and then foods that will help you to connect to your intuition and to your spiritual gifts. So do that. Look into that. Research that. Commit to finding a resource that's reliable and trustworthy that can help to guide you. Commit to yourself. Commit to your growth. Commit to integrating this wisdom by applying it in the physical, by taking action in that way. If you've learned that you are not an accountable person, and through higher wisdom you're recognizing the benefit of being accountable, and there are situations that you you kind of left a mess, and maybe you're like, I know I should probably acknowledge that, and you haven't, that's committing to yourself. It's taking it's taking the wisdom that you have learned and integrating that within yourself through your actions and through your regular mundane routines, and also through your different like one-off events, just in general, just really fully embodying that. That's what you can lean into. Also, more self-reflection is what I'm getting, and self-reflection connected to intuition. So what I mean by that is like reflecting with self, sitting with self. So asking yourself questions, if somebody presents something, instead of becoming defensive, like, no, I didn't do that, or, oh, you misunderstood, or that wasn't my intention. Instead of being like that, like, ask yourself, like, is this true what this person is saying, or what these people are saying? Is this a real element of myself? Is this a real aspect, a real characteristic? Don't judge it though. If the answer is yes, then okay, how did I get to be this? What caused this, or what has perpetuated this? Is this something that I want to keep? Does this benefit me? Can I see how this benefits me? Or is this actually like a detriment that I need to consider releasing or letting go of this habit? you know what I mean? So that's like the internal reflection. That's what I'm talking about. And in that's where you get the wisdom. That's how you tap into your crown chakra, because it's an intention. These are like an intention, a conversation. You can ask your guides, your higher self, to answer these questions, to show you. That's how you connect to your psychic abilities, to your third eye chakra, to your crown chakra. And that's how you connect to your wisdom and your intuition. And then that will open up this realm of enlightenment that you will be able to see beyond surface level with people. I mean, and I'm getting that you kind of already are, but it's like this will be a level of, I'm just getting, this is very new energy. Like, okay, so I'm seeing now the vision again of the baby bird that just freshly chipped out of the egg. You know, it's like the eyes aren't open yet. The mom still has to feed it. Like, that's where you are. And that's no shade. It's not, you cannot come out of an eggshell and not be that. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? So it's saying to like really just strengthen yourself in that, in making something of yourself, in individuating. Just continue to commit to yourself in that way by integrating this wisdom, seeking the wisdom, even if that means asking for help or guidance, a guru, whatever. Okay, so what you can lean away from, it's, there's like a sneakiness I'm getting, like a sneaky or stealthy. It's like this, it's sneaky. It's like sneaking in the nighttime. Like, what though? Why? What are you sneaking from? Like, what are you sneaking about? Is it like you don't want people to know this about you? It's not that. It's maybe, but I don't know. It's just like, it's like this way of, I'm just getting that like there's something that you have your eye on, something that you want. And it's like you're kind of, I don't know if you're aggressive about it or defensive, like protective of it, but it's like you're sneaky trying to get to it. And like you don't want anyone to see that you want to get to this thing, whatever it is. I don't know. But so anyways, the overall messaging of that is like, just be authentic. Lean more into your vulnerability, which again is reconnecting me to like this, the emotional side of yourself, the feminine side of yourself, the vulnerable side of yourself, the dark side of yourself, the receptive side of yourself, the intuitive side of yourself, the caring, nurturing, loving side of yourself. Like the moon aspects. If you're not sure what moon aspects are, it's basically what I just described. I'm just heavily getting like balancing out your polarities, your masculine and energy specifically. Like I'm noticing that this is the water sign and it's shaded in black. This is the air sign and it's shaded in white. One's pointed up, one's pointed down. You know what I mean? The background of this card is shaded in white. The background of this card is shaded in black. This animal is white, that animal is black. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like the black and white. It's like balancing out your light sides and your dark sides. And, but specifically your masculinity and your femininity. But okay, so what Spirit is saying is like truly understanding what that means, because you might be a person that associates like masculine with male and feminine with female, and it's not that. Every single person has masculine and feminine, and masculine and feminine describes energy, and this energy expresses itself in common characteristics, common traits, common aspects. So the feminine energy is our ability to be receptive, to receive, to know that we deserve to get just as much as we give. The masculine of that is our ability to provide, to go out, to give, right? The feminine energy is our ability to create, to flow, to just go where we're moved. The opposite of that, the masculine, is the structure, the routine, making the plan and following that through, and not being rigid, but like, you know, not easily being like thrown about, because you're solid in that. So that might be something to look into, like truly what is masculine and feminine energy. And a place that you might want to start with that is looking into yin and yang energy, because that is the representation of masculine and feminine energy in, I'm not sure, I want to say that maybe it's linked to Taoism, but please don't quote me on that. I am not like a spiritual scholar in that way. I know what I've researched, and so I cannot specifically remember if that's Taoism or not. So yeah, that is what I have for you, pile one. That was all over the place, so I'm sorry if that was hard to follow. I feel like it was hard for me to even really get that out. I hope that it served though, and if it did, please let me know in the comments if something resonated. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you think someone else would benefit from this video, please feel free to share it. If you are here from a past video, thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, I certainly hope to see you in a future video. Thank you so much, and bye for now, pile one. Okay, your current overall energy. When I was shuffling for yours and I was getting the cards for your current overall energy, I heard like tick tock, tick tock. So your energy is coming through kind of a little bit like I heard tyrant, a little bit like a tyrant. It's very micromanaging and very it's like not, it's non-committal though. It's very like, I want what I want, like it's like kind of direct and like, but kind of selfish. It's kind of like, hello, are you gonna give me what I want? Like tick tock, tick tock. And I'm getting that may be associated with sex, but also like a release, like a stress relief. Like it's not the way it's like there's no passion, which is wild because you have the Death card, which is ruled by Scorpio, which is all about like passion, intensity, intimacy. But your energy is coming through more of like, okay, I heard wham bam, thank you ma'am. You may be like in your 40s or approaching 40 or just turned 40, somewhere around there. Man, the number 1 may be significant to you. Just as a side note, this is coming through. You might be really active, sexually active. That's your energy right now. It's like, it's very sexual. It's very, okay, it's kind of giving me like, no disrespect, this is what Spirit's giving me. It's giving me like midlife crisis. And it's like this need to I need this, like I want this right now. I want this to kind of satisfy the fact that I don't think that you feel like you are where you're supposed to be or where you want to be in life. And something about that is kind of like, it's creating this, it's like, it's conflicting because it's like, it's creating this low libido, this low sex drive, but it's like you're trying to use sex to like like it's like to console yourself through this, like through the fact that you feel what you feel, like, because you're not openly expressing it. This is just your energy. So this is what I'm describing to you. Other people may not see this as obvious. This is just your current energy. It's like, I just get the sense that you're like racing a clock. And so what you're doing, it's not even for like the love of it. It's not even for the, it's just it's like I'm doing it to get to, okay, so now I'm being reminded of this, it's so wild how spirit works. It still blows my freaking mind, you guys. So, I think it was yesterday that I got this meditative message, and they are profound in my opinion. And when I receive them, and they seem relatively unrelated to anything. And then I have these readings and I'm like, okay. So that's what this moment was. But I posted something. I will share it on my Instagram. Well, it's already shared on my Instagram, to be honest with you, which is Intuitively Simone, but it's spelled S-I-M and then the number 1 instead of O-N-E. Get it? So it's posted there, but which is also linked down below. I'm not trying to promote. What I'm saying is the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I can't remember specifically what that quote was, but I will post it down below, or I'll post it in the community section. But it's related to that. And it was essentially saying along the lines of, it was like, what if oh my gosh, you guys. Channeling amnesia is a real thing, where like I channel messages, and then after a while, especially if it's not necessarily something that fully applies to me, I kind of forget. If it applies, then I can remember a little bit more, because I'm like, damn, okay, well, that was for me. And I can't remember. So you guys look out for that, please. I'm going to post it, but it's related to that, where it's basically this energy of like almost, it's like racing a clock, or trying to get to this goal, this finish line. It's like trying to get to this finish line. And in the process of trying, like, that's your only focus. And it's like, whatever, I heard by any means. So it's like, whatever is going to get you there. And even if that means that you have to like put yourself on the back burner for a little while, and by yourself, I mean like what you want, and just kind of I heard cope, like do what you need to cope to get to the finish line. And then it's like, once you get to the finish line, you can like breathe. I just get the sense that it's like there's something on your back. I keep wanting to like snap, like hurry up. Like I feel like that's how you feel. Like there's that pressure. There's something on. Now I'm feeling like, ugh, because I want to, ugh. It's like it's like hovering over me, this energy. That's how I feel. I think that's how you feel. Like there's this energy hovering over your back, like breathing down your neck. Like, you got to get this done. What do you do? It's very micromanaging. And it's like, and so, okay, I feel like that's the energy that is, it's both. It's like, that's your energy that you have, it's your energy. It's your energy, and it's, okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I don't want to okay, let me just give what I'm getting. So Spirit's kind of moving me around here, because I'm getting that that's not like I'm getting that you're neglecting yourself. That like you have, so this energy, that energy that I just described, like that is your outward projection. That is how people are perceiving you, because in your habits, that's the energy that you have taken on. So if there's an energy around you that is putting that pressure, like you have taken that on so much that it is kind of like, now I'm seeing what's the word? A calcification. Like it is calcified over the truth of who you are. And so now that's how you are kind kind of like governing yourself. So now I'm getting the quote, it's not the quote, I'm sorry. So now Spirit is reminding me about something that I learned, where if you are a victim of narcissism for a long time, it's common that you can then take on traits of narcissism as a means of like survival, protection. And so when you break away from narcissistic, like healing that and recognizing that you've taken on those quality, those traits, that's a real thing. And it's like, that's not, I'm not calling you narcissist. I'm saying like this micromanaging type, like deadliney type energy that I was feeling. It's like you've embodied, that's calcified over you. So the truth of who you are, I'm getting, is really like in tune. It's creative. It's like, it's emotional. It's expressive, you know, like that's who you are truly at the core of yourself. But the weight of this deadline is just like, I keep feeling it's like over your back, and that's what you're like competing with, is what I heard. That's what you're competing with. But you might okay, I'm just getting that this might be the energy that you're attracting is a very specific energy. And so I don't know if you're asking about someone in specific, or if you have someone in mind about this other energy. But you know, this is a general reading, so only take that how that applies. So I'm just getting, that there is this other energy. It's a specific energy. And it's, okay, so I heard mother figure. It may be a mother figure. So it could be like your mother. Or the other thing that I'm getting is like a mothering type of figure, very like motherly, nurturing type of figure. But it's okay. So what I'm seeing now is like a mother taking care of a toddler, but like the mother is very like, there's a term for, okay, so the mother's very like allowing the child to express itself and have a voice, and like, yes, that hurt. So that's how you feel. Tell me how you feel about that. Yes. You know, that not in a patronizing way, just like really giving room for that child to work through its emotion and kind of to understand, and to not be afraid of feeling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how this queen of this other energy is coming through. Excuse me, you guys. I'm realizing this, but there is another tarot reader that I've watched. This is a side note really quick. And it's Esotarot. Esotarot. And she had explained that when she channels, she gets kind of gassy, and sometimes it sounds like she's crying. And I legit used to think that she was about to cry. And I'm like, oh my God, homegirl's really in touch with her emotions. Like, I'm not judging. Like, that's really dope. But she was saying that she gets gassy. And I realized that when I do tarot readings, like I get gassy, like I burp, and I'm like, I'm not a burper. I'm not judging, like whatever. If you breathe, you have gas. But I'm not typically a person that burps. And like, gosh, I feel like I burped like 3 times already in this. Anyways, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I'm sorry that I felt like that burp was not one that I can like suppress and hide. And I think it came out really loud. And so I apologize if you were grossed out by that. So, okay, anyways, but this other energy there, yeah, duh, Leah. I didn't even see, oh my God, channeling it's a real thing. But anyways, I didn't even realize that this generous warm was right here. Like this other energy they're very connected to their heart chakra. They're very connected to the element of love and compassion, and just like, I keep getting creating space. Like this is your space to do with it what you want. And if in that you need to like cry or scream or whatever type, emote in whatever way you need to release, it's like, get that out. And then like, let me love on you, and let's talk about it. Let's create. Like that's this other energy. The other thing that I was getting is that this other energy like they see beyond this way that you're presenting of like this micromanagey, like I gotta rush, I gotta get to, they see beyond that. And it's like, okay, that's there for whatever reason, but I see that there is a part of you that it's like this is calcified over the truth of who you are. This really like beautiful, creative, expressive, like emotionally in tune person that you are. Okay, and this other energy may want to help to transition, I was going to say transform, but I heard transition you out of that. Like break through this calcification and let the real you. But I'm just getting like, okay, so it's like this energy, this other energy is there. It's a balancing act. But I think that this other energy is perceived incorrectly. Like they may be perceived as someone that is like cold. They may be perceived as someone that is like, I think this person, this person may be misunderstood or perceived as like a Queen of Swords energy, which is like very direct, like to the point. They don't mince words. They will say what they need to say. Like they're sharp, with their intelligent, and yes, that is a part of them. But if someone if someone is not interested in really investing and getting to know this person, it's like they will mistake this Queen of Cups person as the Queen of Swords and mislabel them as that, which the Queen of Swords is what I just described, when really this Queen of Cups, that the truth of who they are is the Queen of Cups energy, which is how I described them in the beginning, this warm, loving, nurturing, connected to heart chakra type person. You may have actually mislabeled this person as a Queen of Swords person. And when I say queen, this is just the energy. I'm not describing your gender. So relate to that however. It's just the gender. Excuse me, it's not the gender, it's just the energy. But this may be a feminine energy. This other energy that you might be asking about specifically, or that you have in mind. I just get that they want to like really help you, because when we move down here to what within you attracts this energy, you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. The Knight of Cups, when it's upright, is like it is this energy that I was describing to you, of this like creative, kind of like hopeless, romantic, expressive, like I'm gonna go for it, like I'm gonna just like have it's like, I don't want to, it's not naive, it's innocent. It's like it's like this element of innocence that's like, I'm gonna go for it, like I'm gonna trust that, like I feel this way about this person and it's real, and this doesn't necessarily have to relate to feelings. It's just like the expression. It could be, I feel this way about this project or this I don't know why, like I keep hearing passion. So like maybe it's about passion, like a passionate endeavor. It doesn't matter. But this other person is seeing that energy is blocked, that it's like calcified over, that you're like so like, okay, I'm seeing someone with like a tight lip that's like, So now what I'm seeing is like a baby, like the baby needs to eat and the mom's trying to like feed it, but the baby's like tight lipped and shaking. It's like, nope. And it's like, you need to eat. Like, that's how it is. It's like, you need to release, allow your emotions to move through, otherwise they stagnate, and you're like, nope, I'm not gonna feel, I'm not gonna express, I'm gonna focus on this thing because I have this deadline and I gotta race and I gotta go, and like everything else doesn't exist. I can touch the emotions later after I get to this point. And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? Which makes such perfect sense for that quote that I channeled, because it was like that. It was like about like your wants versus your success, or like what you're going after. I'll post it, you guys, so hopefully by the time that you guys are watching this, you can just look at the little post right after and see it. Yes, so okay, so what is this other energy? What is this energy reflecting to you about yourself right now? So normally when this card, so the way that I'm reading this card right now is like, normally this card, when it's reversed, it's non-reciprocal. It's unequal give and take. But I'm getting this like for yourself and for this energy that I felt over my shoulder that's like on you about meeting this finish line. I keep hearing deadline. So it's like there's a time frame. It's like meeting this deadline for whatever it is. I don't know, something about light or fire candles. Now I'm seeing like on the ocean at night, like a light holding it out, trying to see its way to like this on a ship. What is that? And then I saw a lighthouse. So you may be responsible for others, and kind of like you may be leading the way. Oh, okay. What this is giving me is like, it's like this other energy that's on top of you about this deadline. They maybe wanted to pass something down to you. So it could be like a family business or like lineage tradition, or it could be some sort of like wisdom. Let's say you have a family book that's like the sacred book of the family. I don't know. It may be like your time to pass this down, and now you have to embody this and pass this down to the next generation. Like now you have to step into this role, like kind of thing. Okay, that's the energy. So this energy. Okay. Oh my God, I'm totally getting like, it's like that classic story of like the prince who just wants to, oh God. Okay, what I'm seeing now is the scene from a Monster High, Welcome to New York. I have a daughter, you guys, so if you're like, what the hell are you watching? This is from like this is from years ago. But anyways, it's called Monster High, Welcome to New York. I know, like, if you're in your 40s or close to it, you might not be a person that watches cartoons, but I would suggest this because I think you can relate to this. Basically, this school goes to New York for like a field trip or something, for a reason, and they meet a prince. One of the female characters who wants to be like a singer meets a prince, and the prince is like, he presents himself as this, okay, it's like that calcification vision that I was seeing. So he presents himself, he has to suppress his true creative ability, his true creativity, his true self, and kind of present as this like calloused person, unemotional, unmoved, because he's the prince. He's in a couple days, he's supposed to have like a ceremony to take on something. I can't remember. But then when he meets this girl, and he starts to reconnect with like his creative side again, and he has a choice to make, whether he's going to sacrifice himself for this throne, or if he's going to speak up and say, like, there has to be a way where I can uphold this responsibility without neglecting myself. And that's what this is giving me. And this Queen of Cups person is that person that helped you to reconnect with your creativity truly, like to really see that part of you. They saw that part of you. And so that's what they were reflecting, is how you were neglecting yourself. Like, in seeing that person be so loving and like, I heard gregarious and just embracive and fun and like upbeat and just nurturing and like really connecting with their own sense of creativity, it reflected to you how you are disconnected from yours, how you're not giving to yourself equally the way that you are giving to this responsibility. So are you a prince? Like in pile 1, I was getting drug dealer analogies. In pile 2, I'm getting prince analogies. And I'm just wondering who's coming to my channel. Like, I would be curious to have a conversation with you. And just like, golly, I love exploring. I don't know. I just love hearing people's story. I love giving people a space to talk about whatever the heck it is that they want to talk about. And like, I'm curious too. Like, I want to have questions. Not, just like, that's how I submerge myself and really like experience. That's where my wisdom comes from too, from other people. So anyways, from other people, and also connection through the divine. But that is divine, meeting other people and hearing their stories. That's so divine. It's not an accident. the people that we meet are not accidental. There are no such things as accidents or coincidence. But I'm getting off on a side tangent. So, let me keep focused. So, okay, so that sums up. This is the summary of that. So let's talk about, you have what you can embrace, what you can lean into, and what you can lean away from. What you can let go of in order to help propel you for your highest good and for your highest fulfillment. So you have the dragonfly here, and there is an element of the dragonfly that represents change, and I want to say quick change. I think this is not, let me just explain this. Please don't take this on like personally. I'm not saying this about you or anything, but I think the life cycle of a dragonfly is very like quick. And so the reason why I brought that up is because it's like lean into, I think that you're in a phase of change, or at least like recognize wanting to change. And so it's like, embrace this element about you and allow it to, there's this element that like, if you were to like crack out of this callus, the change would happen fast, and it would be, so there's almost like this, am I prepared for that? Am I prepared for however that might fall? And it's like, embrace that, lean into that change, into that. You might be, yeah, man, I'm just getting like, so some of the things that are coming through is like generational cycles, and breaking that, like paving a new path. Like there's a word that keeps trying to come through, and I'm talking so much, I keep like talking over. I'm sorry, Spirit. It's, all right. Whatever. I've summed that up. I lost that one. So, also, something about reproducing. I don't know. Do you want to have kids? Pile 2. Are you interested in having kids with this Queen of Cups energy? Or is that something that, have you thought of, is it, I'm just getting something about like reproducing. And then also another thing that's coming through is something about like your mind. You're a very smart pile 2. Like, you are super freaking intelligent. It's like, it makes me, I get personal note, I'm a sapiosexual. And so if you don't know what that means, it just means that it's a person that is very attracted to and like aroused. I'm not aroused right now, but aroused by intelligence, by intellect. And you are coming across very intellectual, and it's like, it's making me blush a little bit because like you're very intelligent. Like, I would be your friend for sure. Like, I'd be like, let's share knowledge. Like, let's not in a competitive way, but just like, I really get, okay, all right, this is not about me. So you're something about your intellect. Like, you're very smart. You are very smart. Enough to make me blush. And that does not happen easily. So, there's that. All right. Something also about the color blue. I don't know what that is. Maybe is color blue your favorite color, or like color blue might look good on you. Or this other energy really likes you in color blue. Something about the color blue. Is that your favorite color? I'm seeing like blue and white, like a blue and white, almost like a sweatsuit type thing, where it's like a hoodie and it's like white in the body. Anyways, it's blue and white. It's like white in the body, and then like the shoulder and the hood and maybe a part of the sleeve is blue. And then there's like a matching sweat pants. It's like white, but there's like blue on the sides. I don't know. Does that mean anything to you? I don't know why I would see that, but something about blue. Maybe that's your favorite color, or maybe that person likes it on you, or something. Okay, so also something about, oh man, something about lines. I don't know why I said oh man. I mean, I guess I do. Something about lines, because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Okay, so what to let go of? I think you've been a little so I'm just getting hibernation, which is the bear that goes in the cave and sleeps. And which took me back to the whole like being calcified, like in this little cocoon. And it's like, you gotta let go of that. You got to break out of that. You have to it's time to come out of hibernation. And by hibernation, I mean like allow this inner creativity, this inner self to come out and show itself now. It's spring, the sun is shining. It's like up. This is a metaphor. And the grass is growing, the flowers are bloom. It's time to come out and like forage for food and stretch your limbs and like allow your true creative, natural, expressive self to show itself. It's been in hiding for too long. Like stop turning away from yourself is what I'm seeing. Something about like a storm or a storm cloud. Is it like storming where you are right now? Or like gloomy and gray, something about a storm cloud. This may also represent a metaphorical storm that you're trying to like keep at bay. But I'm just getting that like shining your light is just that, like it's like I'm seeing the sun like coming through. Like I'm seeing these dark storm clouds and then the sun coming through, and then like the dark storm clouds just kind of like parting for the sun. You are the sun, and that may be in a literal, you may be the sun of this like legacy, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe the daughter, but you are the sun, S-U-N, sun, in this metaphor. And it's like by you tapping into yourself and being expressive, expressing the truth of who you are, it's like you're the sun that parts that storm. And what I'm getting is like it's like a balance, but it's not a choice. It's not one or the other, but it's allowing yourself to choose yourself. It's a way to not have to sacrifice yourself just to have this other thing. It's like I'm getting like I don't know. Apply this to or I don't know. Maybe you can ask for guidance or something. I don't know. This is a general reading, so I don't know the specifics of how this works, but it's just the message of like integrating yourself into this responsibility. Like both can exist. You don't have to sacrifice yourself for this responsibility, and you don't have to sacrifice your responsibility to have to maintain yourself, to give to yourself. Like both can exist. In that movie that I mentioned, Welcome to Boo York, Boo, B-O-O. Because it's Monster High. I mean, spoiler alert. But if you guys do watch it though, can you tell me? I think I'm going to watch it again tonight so I could just see. But I believe that the way that ends, it's essentially that, what I just explained. I don't know the details. I don't remember. But like the prince was able to uphold his responsibility, but also it was a balancing act. He was also able to continue to like do music, because I think that's what he wanted to do, and it doesn't matter, but he was able to honor himself and not have to sacrifice himself for the sake of the throne. And so there's a message that like that is an option for you too, but you won't know that if you continue to sacrifice yourself. So yes, pile 2, that is what I have for you, and I hope that you got something from that. If you're a prince, thank you for coming to my channel. I feel very seen. If you're not a prince, thank you for coming to my channel. I hope you feel very seen. But if something did resonate, if you did get something from this, if this did serve, I would like to invite you to like, comment, and subscribe, please. If you think that this message would be beneficial for anyone else, please feel free to share it. If you have come here from a past video, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, I hope to see you in a future video, pile 2. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Pile number three. All right, so let's get into it. Your overall current energy, you are coming through as someone that is spiritual, and you are like open about it. So whatever you are like learning, whatever wisdom you gain, whatever you I mean, I keep wanting to say like learning, like whatever you're learning, it's like whatever new insights, whatever new enlightenment, whatever new wisdom you get, you are like, you share that, you express that, and you are opinionated about that. But I'm getting that it's like I'm actually surprised you didn't get like dogmatic, because that's kind of what your energy is coming through as, where it's like, I know best. It's coming through a little bit like I know best. Like whatever you might, okay. Oh gosh. All right. So you might be a person, this is what I'm getting. You might be a person that you, like whatever the rules of your belief system is, like you feel you project that out onto the world. And so if your belief system says you need to follow rules 1 through 5 and rules 6 through 10, you need to, like, these are things that you should avoid, right? By you projecting that onto the world, what that would look like is if you see someone doing 6 through 10, then you would immediately or vocally or whatever, like, it's like either, I'm getting that you might be a little passive aggressive though, like you're not direct, you might just do subliminals, like subliminal posts or something like that, where you like kind of condemn this person for doing whatever was 6 through 10. And it might be like, you know, you might be like, oh, you might be a person that's like, tells someone that they're going to hell if they have sex before marriage, or if they, you know, like, I'm using the Christian example because that's what I'm most familiar with, like the Christianity faith, in the way that I'm describing it. So you might be a person that's like, thinks that I'm going to go to hell because I read tarot, or like that I'm, you know what I mean? Like, this is going to be punished. And you express that, like you're opinionated about it. So you project your own belief system onto other people. the type of people that you attract. Okay, so cynical came out here for the type of people that you attract, but I'm actually getting that more as your energy, because what I'm getting is like you attract people to that are more in balance. Like you think that you're in balance, but you're not. And I'm not judging you. This isn't me judging you. You think you're in balance. It's not. Like, it's like you think that your way of seeing things is balanced, that it's right. Like, okay, so using that example, you think it's balanced because you're like, well, I have rules 1 through 5 that say I can do this, and rules 6 through 10 that say I can't, and that's balanced because I'm following all of those rules, and like, you know what I mean? And I'm speaking up on that because that's what, again, going back to the example of Christianity, like that's what the Bible says. And so you're thinking that you are in balance and that you are in connectivity with the divine, with God, a higher power, source, the universe, however you see it. But you might be a person that recognizes only God, or like that's your go-to is God. You might also be a person who oh God, I got something and then I lost it. You might be a person who recognizes God as like a masculine figure. So the people that you attract are meant to show you what true balance is, what true divinity is, what true connection to the universe is, and that's through emotion. That's how we connect to ourselves. That's how we connect to divine. That's how we connect to our authenticity. And you can't connect truly with the divine, with God, if you're not being your authentic self. Because in that, the only type of interaction that you're getting is God saying like, okay, well, before you can come to me and say let me show you who you are. Like, you can come to me and say, I'm this person, but I'm going to continue to put mirrors in front of you to show you who you are. And then when you can truly come to me, truly know who you are, then like, it's like, then we're building a relationship. Like then there's authenticity there. You know what I mean? Because if like in this energy that you're in, if you were to go to God and say, well, God, I did rules 1 through 5 and I avoided rules 1 through 6. I'm not speaking for the divine. I'm not speaking for God. Let me be clear. This is a metaphor, an analogy that the divine is giving me, that spirit is giving me. So please take this how it applies, and it's not my intention to offend anyone. But let's say you present that to the divine. I did 1 through 5 and I avoided 6 through 10 because, that's what the Bible says. The response then is like, well, but did you build a relationship with me? Did you follow my guidance, or did you follow the guidance of a book? And I know that that's going to be a little bit controversial. And I accept. It is what it is. But that's what is the example that's given. That's what you are going to be shown. So these people that you attract are people that have genuine connections to the divine, but you are cynical towards them about it, where it's almost like it's too good to be true. Like, you might have flashes of recognizing that and being like, oh wow, da da da, but then you project your own belief system onto that person, and so in that you're like cynical about that. You feel like that person you cast doubt out onto that person, like that person's not really that way, or that whatever they say. Like, for me, for example, you know what I mean? It's like, you might have what I'm saying, you might recognize it. Like, you may have come to my reading and like I could have said something specifically to your example. I could have said a phrase that whatever it is, I could have said something like that. It's like, for a general reading, it was hella specific. And in that moment, you might find yourself it's like that's that moment of like, wow, that's amazing. But then you project your own and you start to cast doubt. And it's like, I mean, anybody, you know what I mean? However you would kind of like minimize that, like however you would approach that in a cynical manner, like that's the dynamic of your energy versus the energy that you're attracting. You may have some like guilt or shame around your sexuality, how you express your sexual self. And that guilt or shame may come from how the Bible says you are or are not supposed to express yourself. And the divine is coming through very clearly and very strong and saying that's not that's not how the divine sees it. Like, connect with the divine. Your acceptance is not the love that I have for you is not dependent on how you express yourself sexually. Like, karma is a thing, you know what I'm saying? And so if you are being sexually irresponsible and sexually neglectful, I heard sexually obtuse, then yes, karma's a thing, and you'll have to learn those lessons so that you can still, master your lower nature and engage in sexuality, engage sexually in a responsible way. But responsibly doesn't mean you have to express in this lane if you're this way, and you have to express in that way if you're this way. So essentially what I'm saying, let me just be direct, because that was very it seemed very like cryptic, but essentially what I'm saying is like the divine is saying, yes, be sexually responsible, but sexually responsible does not equate to a man and a woman alone. You can be a man attracted to a man, or a woman attracted to a woman, or however many ways of connecting there are. It's like you can be that, but be responsible in that. So that was a side thing that was coming across. This is I know this is going to be a controversial one. Let me just be clear that I am delivering and channeling messages directly from the divine. I am not inserting my own opinion. So I just want to be clear about that. I'm not inserting my own judgment. I connect with the divine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool. I'm all about love, man. But that may be a thing that you're struggling with, a guilt or a shame that you're struggling with. So let me just clear that energy out really quick. It's not a bad energy. That felt a little heavy, and I respect that. I don't want that heavy energy to linger, though, because that was a side message. But what I'm getting is the gist of like your energy versus the energy that you attract it's like you're identifying in this way. Okay, I heard holier than thou. So you're identifying in this way that now I'm hearing the Sam Smith Unholy song. So you're identifying in this way, exactly that. Okay, so I heard holier than thou and then unholy. So it's like you're identifying in this way that is holier than thou. Like, I'm following the Bible rules, so I'm a Christian, like I'm good, I'm going to heaven. And then the people that you are meeting are reflecting to you how you are unholy. And I'm saying unholy, not necessarily that you're like, terrorizing people or anything, but unholy in the way that you cast judgment, or the way that you project your own beliefs onto other people, the way that you sacrifice yourself and your relationship with the divine for a relationship with the Bible, for a relationship with the church. They are not the same thing. And that is specifically, this is a very specific message. That is specifically why you are coming into the relationships and crossing paths with the people that you are. And if you have felt super triggered lately by your relationships, that's why. Because there's an element where these people are reflecting this back to you, whether it's someone that's in balance or whether it's someone that is in a vibrational match with you, because it's like a choice. It's a choice. It's like, are you going to continue to solidify yourself in this way that you have built yourself to be, this quote unquote unholy way, or are you going to see yourself in the reflection of people who do have a genuine relationship with the divine, with me, the divine, and be called up to engage with the divine in that same way? When I said with me, the divine, I'm channeling. Aaliyah, I do not consider we're all divine beings, but I am not the divine. I am not the divine creator. I am not source. So let me just be clear. I just feel like this is going to be a very controversial reading. So I just want to be very clear about what I'm saying and how I'm saying it. So, okay. That is just my spiritual responsibility. All right, what within you attracts this type of energy? Because you've called out. You want to harmonize with the divine, truly. It's like there was this point of recognition, is what I heard. There's this point of recognition within yourself where it's like maybe there's a sense that you have identified this, you recognize this. Okay, I heard. So it's like you recognize this about the churches or about religion or about, temple or wherever you go. I'm using Christianity because that's what I know, and I don't want to speak inappropriately and disrespect any other type of religious belief. I don't know enough to confidently speak on that and give examples in that way. So I don't really know enough to even I know. Okay, it doesn't matter. My point is, it's like you recognize that about this faith, your belief system, about this belief system that you've embodied. And so you've called out, and now you want to establish a genuine, true connection with the divine. Not with the church, not with the preacher, not with the Bible, with the divine source, creator, higher power, higher self, higher wisdom, with that. So what I'm getting is like, and this may have come about through tarot readings, I'm getting that you want to connect. It's like what I'm doing is like you want to be able to do that. And whether it's through tarot or whether it's through another means of connecting to the divine and then, sharing that out, you want to be able to do that. So that's why you're attracting these kind of people, because there is an element within you that wants to harmonize with the divine. And so the divine through these people the divine is showing you through these people what the divine is, how the divine expresses itself, how you can see the divine in other people. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope that that's making sense. So you can recognize the divine when you approach the divine, or when the divine approaches you. You can recognize that and respond what's the word? Build a relationship in that way, instead of in the way where you're projecting out the Bible. So what is the other energy type reflecting back to you? What is this energy reflecting back to you? So I'm just noticing how heavily armored this knight is. So there's that. So there's this, sorry, I was getting more and it made sense in my mind, and I don't know why my words didn't come out to explain that. So let me explain that. I'm getting like how heavily armored that person is. And so what I am taking that to the way that that's coming through is, it's like there's this element of defense. Like there's this defense because how can I explain this? You're a human being. No one escapes this world not succumbing to the influences and the pressures and the temptations of humanity, of being a human, of being a person, right? But because you have been involved in this belief system for so long that tells you you can exist this way, you cannot exist this way. The elements of being a human that fall in the category of you cannot exist this way, that you have succumbed to, it's shame based. So like it's like you have to hide this part of you, because then you're not following the Bible. And if you're not following the Bible, then you're not going to heaven. This is a metaphor. If you do not relate to the Christian faith, please don't take it as such, but this is just a metaphor. And so there's like a guard, a shield, a protectiveness about yourself that is honestly creating like a guilt, a shame. And that's what's being reflected back to you. Or that's the intention, or that's, you know what I mean? That's what's being reflected back to you, is these elements of shame that you carry within yourself because of this belief system that you have grown to identify with. I'm getting like a disconnection. So whenever you see I'm just getting a disconnection from like you disconnect from your lower self. Yeah, okay, that's what it's giving me, where it's like there might be like a guilt or a shame with how you interact with sexuality, or how you interact with how you feel about yourself in the world. So what am I trying to say? What does that mean? Like your purpose, what your purpose is. And the rubric, what you're measuring yourself up to is this standard in this belief system of you can exist in this way, you cannot exist in this way. So anything in the lower nature, the lower realm that has to do with like your willpower, how you assert yourself, anything that has to do with your sexuality, your sensuality, your senses, your creativity, anything that has to do with your stability and your purpose here on life, how you feel, how you view yourself in relationship to the world. You're comparing yourself to this rubric, and there are elements of that you feel, but you judge it because it's not in line with this belief-based system. So let's say you're a person that is sexually active, you enjoy sex, but you're unmarried. And this belief system, this going back to the Bible, says you should not have sex before marriage. Now you're carrying this guilt or this shame with you because you have participated in this very human experience, and you have taken that on to believe that God is judging you for that. But if you were to build the relationship with the divine, you would be able to see that and understand that from a different perspective, and know that God is not that punishing. But because you have built your relationship with the Bible, with the pastor, with the preacher, with the priest, with the church, or with the temple, with the whatever. I don't even want to say temple because I don't know. And they are projecting out. They approach it with a very judgmental approach. Now you are approaching yourself with a very judgmental approach. And then that also casts itself out and you project that judgment onto others as well. That's what people are reflecting back to you, is this defensiveness, this protection of self. But what are you protecting? You're protecting your judgments they're false. They're not true. And you're labeling that as holiness. You're labeling that as spirituality. You're labeling that as being a child of God, and it's not that. So that's what these people are reflecting back to you. So what you can embrace, what I'm getting is, again, going back to what you can embrace to propel you forward for your highest good and for your highest fulfillment. So going back to what I was saying about how there was an element of you that has called out to the divine for this. I think that this is a new endeavor. And so naturally, being in a certain belief system and then switching that up, identifying so strongly to a certain belief system and then having curiosity outside of that, that can be a little nerve-wracking, and I can understand, where you're coming from, how there might be a hesitation for fear of judgment or being casted out or whatever. So what Spirit is suggesting is explore, continue to build a relationship, but if you feel more comfortable being stealthy, do so, but it does not in a manipulative way. Still keep your purity, your genuine curiosity, your genuine exploration, your genuine desire to build a relationship with the divine. Still keep that. But if you need to do that in a way that's more private, like watching tarot readings. Tarot isn't the only way. It's just my avenue. It's my lane at this moment. And so that's the example that I'm giving. But if it's like watching tarot readings or even there's a lot of spiritual content, but use discernment, whether it's prayer or meditation or seeking out a guru or going to a spiritual retreat or making friends with other people or having friends that are of other belief systems and engaging and asking them about that curiously, but with whoever you trust, though, in a way that's trusted, just in whatever way that is, it keeps you comfortable and safe, but allows you to genuinely build, whether that's journaling and asking the questions and then allowing the universe to move to answer those, however that works out. That's what Spirit is saying, but to ground it, though, it's like there's this element of curiosity, but you're still physically grounding yourself and operating in this energy of this belief system that you have of the past. I'm going to say of the past because you've shown interest in wanting to connect deeper. So I'm going to relate to that as the past. So it's like you're still in that, very much physically involved, like, and active in that. And so it's saying, like, start grounding this new way, this new exploration in a way that is, again, like, safe for you, but allows you to connect deeper to the divine in whatever way that makes sense. So please use your discernment with that, though. If this is not something that resonates, if this is a specific message. So if this is not your pile, you would know this is not your pile, and I would just suggest trying another one. That's okay. That happens sometimes. I'm not trying to persuade you one way or the other. This is just a suggestion, and take that how that resonates. So if you know that you were already into tarot, for example, you're at this video, Spirit is saying, like, continue to do that, and you don't have to broadcast it until you feel certain and steady in this until you have decided on a path, a lane, whatever resonates with you, and you feel steady and confident and comfortable, and you can speak to that. If you want to explore these other pathways in a way that's more like private and personal to you and a little like under the radar, do that. But as much as you're committing to this old belief system, commit to you building your relationship with the divine in that same way, in a way that's grounded and physical. So if you still feel like you need to show up to church to maintain, and that's what you want to do, but in the meantime, you are meditating at night or, writing in your journal or seeking clarity and guidance and higher wisdom through tarot or whatever the situation is, it's like, do that as well. And then you make your own choice, but it's like, find your own path. And if you need to do that in a way that's, okay, I'm like repeating myself, but I hope that that's clear. I just wanted to be super clear because I don't want anyone to think that I'm like trying to usher them in one lane or the other. That's not the message that I'm giving you. It's if you feel that in order to find your lane, you need to be a little bit secretive about it, cool, do that. In a way that's healthy, that doesn't sacrifice yourself, but it still maintains your purity, your honesty, your integrity, your authenticity, your want, your desire to build a relationship, the truth of that, to build a relationship with the divine. What to lean away from, or sorry, what trait can you let go of to propel you? I'm just getting very like reptilian energy. Obviously I have a crocodile here, but I'm seeing like even like lizards and bearded dragons and snakes. It's very, and I'm feeling like kind of creepy crawly. How can I describe that? It's like this energy of it's like scaly and detached and dry. It doesn't. Okay, so now what I'm seeing is the snake shedding its skin. So it's like, let go of your skin. It's allow yourself to shed that old skin. That's what you're letting go of. Like, as that falls away, let it. And it's so that creepy crawl, like it's gonna feel uncomfortable. That like feeling that I was describing where I was like, ugh, I feel kind of creepy and crawly. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. Continue to call out to the divine. Continue to call out to the divine and, build relation in whatever way. Build your relationship and your bond in that way. Continue to allow the divine to show up for you. I'm also just getting this message that like you don't have to broadcast it. This like, oh, I'm changed. I don't know why that came through like that. It was like, oh, I'm a changed person. You don't have to broadcast it. It doesn't, because there's like an element of it doesn't need to be broadcasted. Not now, not right. It's like, okay, so what I'm just getting is like, just keep it personal, keep it private, keep it sacred. That's the word. Keep it sacred right now. Keep it sacred. And that doesn't mean it's not going to be sacred in the future. It's just saying like, prioritize the sacredness of this new, of exploring yourself, of this new journey, of this new path, but especially of building the relationship with the divine. That's a new endeavor, because again, I want to say you were building your relationship with the Bible, with the church, with the priest in the past, the pastor, preacher, however you recognize it. Is there any more? Did I miss any others? Pope. They all start with a P, and that seems significant. 4 P's. I don't know. P seems significant. I don't know. Does your name start with a P? I don't know. P seems significant. So can you tell me below if that resonates with you, what that means? P. I'm seeing like 4 P's now. I heard Penelope. Well, now, okay, so now I'm like seeing, I'm hearing Piper and Prue, and I'm seeing, what's the name of that show? Is it called Charmed? I don't know. Did you used to watch that? Maybe there's okay, what is that, Spirit? Why are you showing me that? Oh, you might be like kind of curious about witchcraft. I was drawn to the pentacle too, and I was like, what? You might be kind of curious about like witchcraft or like witch lineage, or even if you don't identify, like maybe your ancestral, like I'm talking about your ancestors way back, like their original way of doing things, how they used earth elements, all of the elements, but how they used their environment, the earth, their intention, their rituals, their rights to go forward and honor and serve the divine. You might be curious about that. There might be something there. I'm getting a lot of like African, okay, and then Celtic came through. Okay, now I heard Bruja, so you might be of like Hispanic origin, but I'm getting like witchcraft type energy, so you might be interested in that. Or maybe spirit is showing, this is gonna be, you know, it's gonna fall on a spectrum, so wherever you fall, but either you're interested in that, or spirit is showing you like to look into your lineage, because there's a part of your lineage that's connected to that, and you might be a person that's like that. The Bible, anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that. So that's that. The spirit's saying like that's to stop. I made the point. So something about a halfway point. The number 50. You might, I don't know, something about the number 50. You might be in your 50s. I'm sorry, there's something else coming through, and I'm trying, it's something 50, like it's something about like a halfway point in your journey. I think that I don't know, that's like I'm halfway there. I don't know, something about Sagittarius season. So, yeah. Okay, so that is what I have for you, a pile number 3. I hope that this served. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you think someone else will benefit from this video, please feel free to share. If you are returning from a past video, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, I certainly hope to see you in a future video. Thank you so much, Pile 3. See you next time. Bye.